You might buffer a little bit. I don't know. I might have to mute you until I know that I can trust you.
What?
Oh, we're live. Know that I can trust you. Okay, so now that we're live, we're just gonna go silent. Oh, we're live.
I thought you were gonna introduce me or something.
Oh, right. See, this is the way of the of the weekly live stream is that there's no opener, so it's just some like very awkward, heavy breathing and stuff. So yeah, hello everyone. This is Eric Elwell, and I'm here with my friend Christina Cornett, who is an awesome artist, and she's going to prove it tonight.
Oh,
Yeah.
a lot of pressure.
So we are trying Magma Studios. This is a drawing app where we can draw on the same canvas at the same time, and hopefully this will be a little more interesting, entertaining way of seeing more than one artist's work. Okay, so yeah.
That's magma, by the way.
What did I say?
It's magma.
Magma?
Yeah, this is Magma Studios.
What
So
did
I'm
I?
drawing magma.
Okay, all right.
What did you think that was?
I thought you were correcting me. I was like, what did I say? Magnum?
Oh, I thought you were saying like, what did I say? What my rules about
Right.
excrement?
I, t- I, t- I told you before this stream started, this is a Puritan concept art,
Are you
Amish
drawing
concept art channel.
underneath the
I am.
layer?
I am. I have my own layer.
Oh, you're getting fancy and shading it.
Well, it was actually an accident, but I just rolled with it, which is kind of how it goes all the
But you
time anyway.
didn't roll with it. 'Cause you erased
Well,
it.
then I unrolled with it.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow,
So
there's clipping groups. Very nice. You know, I actually really like the way that they operate with the presets with 1, 2, and 3.
I
That's pretty nice.
it grew on me pretty quickly. So I tried this out earlier today, in on the iPad because nice because the pressure sensitivity it works on the iPad, and I have it turned off for the PC. And you're a little bit off there. It's a little kind of reddish. But anyway, I didn't like it as much on the iPad. It was kind of difficult to handle. But on the PC, it feels a lot like Photoshop Lite, you know.
You know,
So
I haven't tried Photoshop Lite, but Photoshop Lite?
like
Photoshop
no, I mean
Sketch?
you're talking about Photoshop Elements. Photoshop Elements is
Oh, no,
terrible.
no, there was sorry, Adobe Sketch? There's some kind of app on the app, on Apple.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to give them a hard time, but I guess they are like a giant tech corporation, so they can handle it. I don't like any of their Apple apps. Like every time I'm like, oh, this could be cool, this could be useful, and then it's like it's all the useless features, nothing that's really like applies to painters. It's kind of interesting. This is an opinion, but I was listening to Craig Mullins talk about Adobe, and his opinion is that they are kind of embarrassed by concept artists, like they want to be, like fine art photography, to be kind of their brand, and
Interesting.
the fact that we use Photoshop for lesser things such as video games. Um, they. His opinion is that they don't care to support us.
I have heard people say that actually, that it was meant to be a photography editing program. But I mean, it's such an industry standard for us now.
Yeah, it's become. I think of it as a like a workstation. It's almost like going into the garage and like you've just got all these tools available to you, and it depends what you what you intend to do at the time.
Yeah, like, well, if it were me, I'd be fumbling around in the garage and like, where's my paintbrush?
There are plenty of
And
tools in there though that I'm just like, what the heck is this? Like, why do I need a video editor in Photoshop?
yeah, it came handy for me one time. I
Yeah.
had to do a job where it was like a robot animation, and I
Hmm.
didn't know how to use any animation programs, so I just used Photoshop.
Right. I mean, I will definitely say it has come in handy for me. Like, I've used it to make GIFs and like uh, what would you call it? Like replay. So if I don't record a painting, but I've got the layer stack and I just want to like reveal the layers, um, I've used the video editor for that. And I could see for maybe web layout, because that is a really nice thing with Photoshop when you're doing layouts that you can like cut up and use all the different assets for. There's a couple nice tools in Photoshop for that. Like anyway, the point with that being that the video editor would be nice there if you have video content on your website. Then being able to mock it up with the actual like moving video stuff would be handy. So I can see it, but I just feel like it's a catch-all. It's not. It shouldn't be called Photoshop. It should just be like everything visual. you know.
You know what I'm finding to be an interesting challenge is talking while using a program you've never used before.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so engrossed in just painting this stupid little character. And just with this one tool. And I can't think of what to say.
That's fine.
But I kind of like how it's coming out.
Yeah,
I like how
I'm
you're painting
enjoying
the
it.
cactus too.
I was just thinking, this is a waste of time.
Let this program
No,
what we're
paint,
doing.
paint, painting the cactus. Like I'm just doing it. I'm just turning my brain off and like kind of getting into the groove with the program.
Yeah, this is kind of a new this is a new structure for your stream too, right?
Yeah, usually I just jump in with Photoshop and like whatever I'm thinking about in the moment is what I do. Like it's always spontaneous, and I actually have to like remind myself sometimes during the day. I'll be like, oh yeah, that would be a cool theme for the thing. It's like, well, no, when it comes time, I'm just gonna do whatever I feel like in that moment, which is I don't know, like it when it comes out of my mouth, I feel like, man, this guy's kind of a jerk. I do what I feel like.
No, you're holding yourself to your own standards. It's
Well,
not a bad thing.
I have this terrible habit of like choosing to do things that are um, like common knowledge, like the worst thing to do if you want to grow or something. You know what I mean? Like if you start like a YouTube channel and you'll get like little advice things on that like YouTube will send you like, hey, now it's time to do this. Just make a introduction page. It tells people what they're getting into when they see your channel and all that kind of stuff. And like I can guarantee that like every single thing they tell you to do, at some point I decided to do like the opposite, like or like either I don't do it or just haven't done it yet, or I've actually chosen like no, I want to do spontaneous content. I want to do stuff that's interesting to me, and that doesn't make for like it doesn't make for something that you can expect. That you come back to and you're like, okay, yeah, I know we're gonna do a tutorial on something. It's like no, it's whatever mood he's in, we're subject to his whims. Uh, So I recognize that like, as far as like common wisdom for like growing a channel, it's the he's got like spikes in his armpit. Let's read. Needs more of those.
You know what the most spontaneous thing for you to come up with would be, though? To draw?
You're gonna tell me what would be spontaneous to draw?
Well, exactly. Someone else telling you what to draw. There's no way you could guess it.
Yeah.
I actually really like the way this character is. I really like my character.
You're.
You know, I never do like self-portraits, but I feel like that actually kind of represents me.
Kind of works for you.
Yeah, that's. You know what? If I had braces, it would. It's such a cute little. I mean, I don't think that I'm like cute or anything, but I think the character looks really cute. On some days. Maybe if I really try. But this character is really cute. I like it. Now it no longer looks like me. But do you want to try and do like a drawing exercise or something?
Sure.
Like that might actually be cool to come up with something that the other person has to draw.
Okay.
It's an idea. I don't know. Ooh. Look at that lighting.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me make a new layer.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't mess with your layers. That's kind of interesting.
I think there's a way. I think this button. I think that makes I leave the layer and then like you can get in there, and then you double click on it.
Oh, okay, I see. Oh, okay. So how do you? Okay, so it's okay. You have to get rid of the pencil mark.
What are you trying to do?
Oh, I was trying to turn off that, but
Oh, you gotta
I'm
hit
gonna.
the little eyeball.
Oh, the I. No, like I just wanted to turn off the editing, turn off ownership.
You hit the leave up here. See that? You can't see the
Oh,
screen.
I can
Can you?
right click it. No, I can't see it.
Okay, up above, right next to opacity, and it says a normal blend mode. You can hit the leave option
You
there.
can also right click it too.
Really?
Gives you a couple of if you own a
Oh,
layer, you can right
I
click
see.
and it gives you some very interesting.
Okay. I'm gonna merge
How do I
these two.
make a layer? It's the make layer button.
Whoops,
Or can only you make a layer?
you could. There's a new layer button. Right
Oh, there
up
it is. Okay, I see.
And then this is merge. I think this is clip. What is that? Transfer down. So that'll merge without deleting the layer. This one. Oh, you can't see my screen. Never mind.
Well, I could watch it through the stream.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna leave this layer and hide it so you can play with it if you want to. Actually, gotta hide it first and then leave it. There we go.
Yeah, I know what I think you should draw. I think
Okay.
it'll be fun too.
All right.
A cactus cowboy.
Cactus cowboy.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna start with some shapes. I'm not really a cactus person.
Really? I love cacti. They're so cute.
I have one cactus, I think. We inherited somehow.
You don't know where you got it from?
Well, you know, I have children. Things just kind of show up, and like, oh, I guess we're taking care of this now. Yeah. All right. So here is shape number one. You know, though, dragon fruit, they come from a cactus, right?
Prickly pears? Is that the same?
I don't know.
Isn't dragon fruit? Now I'm confused.
They're like the yellow, they look like this, I think, if I remember. I'm gonna mess this up. They get like little pricklies on them.
Oh, apparently dragon fruit is a cousin of the cactus pear. Very interesting.
It needs to be more soft like that.
Maybe I could draw a character on the side here. On my side.
Okay. All right.
This is my side. You can't have it.
Well, what's the point of that?
I don't know.
What's the point of sharing a canvas if we're not sharing?
Oh, so I can draw on top of your characters?
You could. You'd have to make a new layer to
This
go,
is not-
because you're underneath them right now.
Ah.
But yeah, so dragon fruit. I think the hang, like I think you like put them on a vine, kind of like, or on a like a vineyard type thing. Like you put them on like wires or whatever, so they hang down. And I think it's just like this long cactusy thing. But those are delicious.
I don't know if I've ever had one. I might have had one. My friend Michael, I think for like Christmas or something, bought a bunch of fruit, and he got a sort of like thing that you put on your tongue that dissolves, and it's supposed to make things taste a lot sweeter.
Okay.
So after you eat it, you could have a lemon and it'll taste like candy.
Yeah, I can't remember what I've heard of that before. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a bitter kind of fruit or something, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it was good. It made everything tasty. I actually really like this guy. I was waiting for your character prompt.
Yeah, sorry. Let's see.
But now I have this cactus.
Let's see, what would be a good character for you to do? I'm thinking some kind of gecko lizard.
Ooh.
He's a traveling merchant.
Okay. Okay, I actually really like where this little cowboy cactus went. Maybe I'll add him to my McGraw lineup. Okay. Oh, I need to look up what it... Am I allowed to look at reference for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I probably should too. But I'm just kind of starting with like what I think are interesting cacti shapes, and then kind of going from there.
Oh, geckos are cute. All right, a gecko traveling merchant.
All right, we gotta erase this terrible little dragon fruit right there. And I'm gonna start moving these guys around. Give them a little space.
Oh, I guess there's no scale button. You can scale things.
That's not good. Oh boy.
Oh wait, no wait. Here we go.
The
There's
hotkey
tools
for
on the left. Aha! I found the transform button.
where is it? What's it look like? Oh, right there.
It's on the left. Yeah.
All right.
A lot of the hotkeys are the same, which is nice.
Yeah. Only the hotkey for transform brought up a new tab.
Yeah, that didn't work for me either.
Now how do I finish the? I guess that's done. There's
Traveling merchant. I'm gonna give him a lot of stuff on his back. He's a buff merchant.
So this stream is like both guest artist, two artists learning a new program at the same time. That's kind of interesting. It's probably the most interesting thing going on YouTube right now. So.
That's why we have so many viewers. But I think this is pretty cool. I mean, I think it's a Do you know when this program came out?
I think last year he started. Bobby Chu started pushing it. Um,
Okay.
I don't know how long they've been working on it.
Yeah, cool to like. I think it has good bones, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like super grumpy with this earlier today, but like now I'm like, this is actually it feels right, and I think part of that is like just being on the PC with all of the hotkeys that I'm used to, like doing exactly what I expect them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that is, I think, changing the experience for me.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Photoshop, which is nice.
Oh, you could have like a cactus nose. You could have prickly.
Oh, I like that one. And then this guy looks like a grumpy old man.
This one right here.
The one on the bottom left.
Oh,
Like his eyes here. And then this is his nose. And that's his mouth.
I'm still not quite seeing it, but okay. So you're saying that, so there's eye right here, right?
Yeah.
This is his nose here, or this thing?
Kind of see it as like the below thing. It
Nothing.
looks kind of like a cowboy hat that was tilted down to the
Okay.
side.
Yeah.
Like he's a stylish old man.
You see a little frown sticking out of there. If that's his face there, or this would be this be his. There we go. That'd be kind of fun. Like he doesn't. There's. It just goes from eye to nose, and there's like no head.
Oh
Just
my
eye,
god.
nose, mouth.
That really would look like a cactus.
Let's see. He's gonna have a. He's got his 6-shooter here.
I like this gecko. I kind of like where he went, this little gecko, but he doesn't look like a merchant. You gotta give him some stuff to sell. Maybe he's got like a little like a shop sign. Oh, that looks more like a banker thing.
All right.
It's to sell some bottles. Bottles full of flies. Would a gecko eat a fly? I'll assume.
I think that's pretty safe to assume.
Maybe his whole shop is just flies. So that maybe this is like a jar on his back. And he's just got a bunch of flies in here.
The gecko apothecary.
Oh, that would be fun. Give him some potion bottles on the side.
So I kind of feel like I need a few minutes to just like kind of look at these shapes and figure out what would be cool,
Mm-hmm.
Like this one, still nothing's really striking me yet, but I can see kind of a character emerging out of this one, with like these are his boots. Let's make those brown. Separate those.
That guy's got some swag.
Yeah, that's the idea.
I kind of want to try drawing one of those, a character based on that old man cactus.
It's not allowed.
Okay.
Not permitted.
An old man would probably have like a seasoned hat. Like he's worn this hat for a long time and has become very attached to it. Oh my gosh, maybe it's all torn up because his spines go through the hat.
Yeah.
Meh.
Let's see here. I'm thinking.
I like the idea of it.
Oh, go
Huh?
ahead.
Oh, I just like the idea of it being the nose, just like being part of the head.
Just thinking like this guy's got these chaps here. He's gonna have like spikes sticking out. I think that's just gonna be a theme with these guys. Just they gotta
Unless
feel prickly.
unless you've like unless their spines have fallen out or are bent, and I mean if this guy's an old man, that would make sense. He's missing some spikes. Like they've just fallen out over the years.
He's got like 3 left. This guy over here. Let's see.
It's kind of fun to do a drawing based off of someone else's silhouette sketch. I just made a new tab again on accident.
Do you ever get that, like that, I don't know if you call it inspiration or whatever, but like when you see a thumbnail of somebody's work and you're like, oh, that's awesome, and then you open it up and like it ends up being something totally different, you know, which is usually still awesome because the shapes, you know, read well and stuff at a small scale, but like you're still kind of stuck on the first thing you thought it was, you know?
Like your silhouette comes out totally different than what you wanted, basically.
No, I mean like when you're looking at someone else's work and you just interpret it incorrectly. Like you interpret it as something else.
Oh, I see.
And then when you open it up, it's like you still want it to be that what you saw before, you know?
Yeah. I get a lot of ideas that way. Just like if I see something online that I think is like, "Oh, that's really cool." And then I click on it. Like even if it's not necessarily a drawing, like it's a picture of something like a product. And I click on it. I'm like, "Oh, that's a cool thing." But it's not when you click on it cuz the thumbnail's so small.
Mm-hmm.
Then it gives you ideas for drawing.
I rarely act on it. Like a couple of times I've like you know, taken a screenshot of the thumbnail and then like did a little paint over to like end up close to what I was thinking, you know. But like I don't know that I've ever really gone anywhere with it, you know what I mean? Like taking the time to turn it into like a finished design.
Mhm. I mean, it helps when you're like concepting. Like sometimes, like, yeah, I'll just cruise the internet and try to find some ideas that are not really related to what I'm doing. Maybe his nipples are like prickly pears.
We'll have this guy. I'm thinking he's got this hat, but then like his eye sticking through it.
It's amazing.
Let's see. I think there's a shadow color there.
I feel like the pants on my guy doesn't really work. I gotta look up what chaps look like.
Yeah, we
Okay,
probably.
I was not expecting that from people.
I was trying to be careful with this guy. I'm like, all right, well, I'll put some chaps on him. I'm like, you don't want to send the wrong message. So I'm looking at the chat. So we have that's a Adonis in the chat. So that's hello to you both. Love the guest artist in here. Yeah. Have you seen Christina's work before, Adonis? The answer must be yes.
I'm so popular. Hello, Adonis? Hello, Adonis.
So Adonis has been part of the channel for a long time, and he's an artist as well. And we'll do every couple of months we get together and kind of see how his stuff is coming along. So.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. He sounds like a stand-up guy.
The one thing with this tool that I keep doing, I keep ending up on the eraser instead of...
Like on accident?
Yeah. Like I'm trying to throw in a drawing, and I'm like, am I like painting in white right now, or what's going on? It ends up being just on the wrong tool. I think that's partly just being used to flipping the pen over for the eraser, but it's...
Oh, do you flip the pen?
Sometimes I'll do, hit E, but yeah, I think probably more often than not I flip it.
Are you on a tablet or a Cintiq?
I am on a tablet.
Okay. Yeah, I used to do that all the time.
Then you got better.
Because I was used to the tablet. No. Just I don't do that as much on the Cintiq because it feels like more effort, I think. When I do, like I'm already raising my hand. Now I gotta flip the pen too. I mean, come on.
It's serious problems there. I had to lift a finger today. It was so hard.
I mean, it all adds up, right?
No, I actually I hear you there. I for a while I was in the habit of doing the hotkey, but I fell out of the habit at some point. Probably when I stopped erasing because I just didn't need to.
Yeah, I feel like I erase a lot. I don't really mind it. I can see how it can get inefficient at times.
So I was kind of joking about that, but like in all seriousness, when I draw on like the sketchbook, it's so stupid, but like I do have this kind of like this brainworm kind of mental rule for myself to just try not to erase, like to just keep going, and just be okay with kind of stray marks or bad marks or whatever you want to call it. And I think I'm partly like trying to get myself out of that, just because it's it's okay, right, to make a decision one way or another. Like it's not like you have to follow rules for yourself or whatever. And so like I'm trying to just get out of the habit. But I think for a while it was a really good practice for me, because I think what I would do early on was just draw and want every drawing to be perfect,
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd erase, and then you kind of ruin the paper, and you everything gets smudgy, and you know what I mean. And I think that I needed that for a while to just have the confidence of like, okay, well, you drew it once, you can draw it again if you need to, and if things aren't perfect, like that's fine. It's a sketch. You're not trying to make finished artwork, and so like just to kind of get that into my system, I wouldn't really let myself erase very much. And anyway, so now I'm like, really, it's okay. You could erase if you want, if you think that's the right decision.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's a good practice to do, to work in your sketchbook, like with pen or don't erase or something. Like
Mm-hmm.
I did it for a while, and I definitely do feel like it made my strokes more confident over time. Um, but I kind of fell out of the practice, and sometimes I guess sometimes like my workflow now may be inefficient. I'm not sure, but sometimes I like to just like test stuff out,
Mm-hmm.
and I just do like a quick sketch like this, and then like I'll erase it and try something in a different, I don't know, pose or whatever.
Yeah. My
So
my
sometimes erasing can help, I think.
my workflow, I think now is really inefficient compared to where it was before. Um, there's a part of me that's like okay with that because I just feel like that's a part of changing as an artist. Like, um, I think what makes things efficient or made things efficient for me um, was to like have a kind of a set plan, stick to it, and like just kind of follow the same structure every time, you know, um, which is great for consistency's sake. It's great for speed, but it's not really great for like developing something. Like it doesn't change. It's like you've that's the formula that you figured out works to get the certain result, but it's not going to
Mhm.
get you a different result, you know. Um, and so anyway, like I'm not. I don't. Maybe that's just the excuse that I tell myself, and I'm like, oh, I'm so slow. It's like, no, it's a good thing, you know. But like, uh, I do have to think about that. I'm like, well, would I have made this choice if I were the same artist that I were, you know, 5, 10 years ago? I would have just sped through this and not slowed down and thought, is this the right thing to do? You know, um, and so in that respect, I don't. I think it's worth it sometimes to change, kind of change your flow.
Yeah, it definitely throws you off for sure. And like when you're thrown off, um, and you kind of work through it, I feel like that's kind of when I grow a lot.
But
Like,
it's painful though. It's like, what's wrong with
oh
me?
yeah.
I used to be good, you know.
Yeah, one of my coworkers recommended moving some things around in Photoshop, and I tried it out, and like I'm still doing it, and it's funny, but like your mind kind of changes to, to fit the new flow, but at first I was like, "Oh my God, where is everything?"
Yeah,
But it ended up, it, I liked the change and I ended up keeping it. But it's funny. It's funny how that works.
that's
I'm
like.
still working on a. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that's like a guaranteed bad day for me. Here's a Photoshop update. Like, oh no.
I let other people guinea pig it. Like if there's an update and there's a bug or something, I just wait.
Yeah. Well, it's like they can't help but change something that I used incorrectly. You know what I mean? Like I had a different way of approaching a tool, and it's like, oh, it's different now. Like, guys, please, just I would pay you extra just to stop changing the program. You know,
No change. No change.
right? This is the Amish
This guy
concept
looks
art.
like a this guy at the very top
Uh
looks like he has no clothes on, so it looks like he's just running around naked.
huh. Right. I've been thinking like, well, how is this gonna work? See, I think maybe this leg is too low, and but like I see, I'm getting too far into the rendering, but like I'm thinking, I want to get the shapes really interesting, and then just make them into something, right? So this could probably be the hat up here, like kind of merge that shape right in, right?
Oh, interesting. His head is poking out the top.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. I did make one character in my Western theme that was like his hat is pulled all the way down over his face, and he's just like cut 2 holes in it for his for his eyes.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that idea. That's clever. I also like what you're doing at the top with like the hat. I don't know, that just that like that shape of the rip is nice.
Alright, we're gonna get this shadow in there to make me happy.
See, I am being impatient and just going straight to sketches. Maybe I'll do some silhouettes.
No, you're probably being smart and and not getting into shadow shapes and all that stuff. I feel like. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh no, I mean, I guess it's fun to just change the way you do stuff during a job or art.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes I like to sketch and sometimes I go to silhouette. Right now, this looks like Ringo. Like Gecko,
Wait,
the
wait,
first thing I come up with is Ringo.
Wait, because I see something else. I see these. Where's the
Double hat.
No, I see this. These are like little hair buns.
Oh, that would be cute.
Right, and because this feels like a dress, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see. We'll go. Maybe like little sad eyes right here.
It's a very cute little character.
It's almost like what's that? What is that like super famous painting with like the farmer and the pitchfork and like
Oh, but Gecko version.
Yeah. But yeah, I can see this as like, these are little like tied up hair buns. I don't know how you make those look like hair buns here.
Let me try. See what that character could look like. Maybe I should be using the opacity one that I have, but it's too late now.
Let's see. By the way, is it okay if I draw over your drawing?
Oh, no, I don't care.
Because I already did that.
I think we've given up any semblance of ownership on this app.
Right. So I think that's like we for anyone who's watching, we used to draw a lot in the like Google Hangouts and stuff. And so at some point I decided to go back to school and finish up a degree, and like that was something I had to relearn. It was like, oh, here, let me just like ruin your drawing just to like explore an idea. And,
oh, like you were doing that to people?
Maybe.
See, I don't think that's bad, like, but yeah, it does require their consent.
Right. Out of the way.
I just imagine like their drawing being up on the board and you just pushing through a crowd of people to draw on it like a crazy person. With your face all messed
I
up
mean, I'm still like a half decent human being. But
like I just imagine this crowd of people and then Eric over here like with his face pressed up against the wall like, nah, I'm gonna draw this on your drawing.
I have an idea. I can't hold it in. There we go. He's got like a prickly chest, little chest hairs.
Is it bad etiquette if I look at your chat? Because I think somebody
No, go for it.
said something.
That's
Gio
actually.
said you guys should give it, huh?
This is what you're here for. You have to. Talk to the people.
Well, I will talk to them.
If I would let you.
Wow.
Go for it.
You guys should give CSP for a whirl, Gio says.
CSP.
CSP.
What is that?
Tell us. We must know.
Oh, is that Clip Studio Paint?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have tried. Is Clip Studio the same as Manga Studio?
I don't know. I think it. I don't know. We'll wait for Adonis to tell us. Excuse me. Okay, now I'm getting lost in the weeds once I start painting the core shadow. No time for that.
I'm getting a very interesting texture from this random jitter. I kind of like that.
What is this random jitter? Like, are you doing that, or is it?
I don't know if I did that on purpose, but I kind of like it now. So then I started doing it on purpose.
Oh, okay. Because that was something I was looking for earlier. It's like, how do I get like a scatter effect in here? Because it didn't feel like I was able to get much kind of randomness.
Gecko looks like it's a granny gecko. I need to give her a lot of wrinkles now because of it.
That could totally work. Have your granny shop owner gecko. What if this guy's got like just these massive cactus mitts?
He'd never be able to grab anything.
You're like, howdy, partner.
Can you get rid of this layer right here? Or like turn it off?
No, it's sacred.
Oh, thank you. That's one way you could troll someone, is just not...
Right. Just leave the layer there. Yeah. I think there is a general assumption that if you're going to like share a canvas with someone, it's you trust them and not to completely ruin everything.
Yeah, Gio, I did try Manga Studio at one point. The way that you can get silhouettes from their ink tools and their symmetry, I really liked it. I actually used it for a job, like solely at one point, just because I needed those silhouettes, and like that was it had a really great feel to it.
What was the tool?
It was called Manga Studio, but Gio says that it's...
I mean the function that you were talking about.
It was like an ink pen and a symmetry tool, which Photoshop does have, but it just looks better in that program for some reason. Okay, well, this doesn't look like a gecko, not like a turtle. I stopped looking at gecko references.
It's a pretty loose prompt, right? You can do whatever. Let's see.
I can?
Yeah. So this old guy, what if he's got like a flower in his cap? Like he's only got one little cacti flower?
He's a gentle old man.
I feel like an old cactus shouldn't have, the flowers all over. That would imply the youthfulness or something, But like the one solitary...
So gentle.
No.
I'm drawing a cactus baby. I'm pretty sure they don't have the inside of their mouths like this. Whee! Oh, and when it screams, the cactus spines shoot out.
Yeah, they just fly everywhere. Like spittle. That's my baby's thing now is he'll stick his whole fist in his mouth and just comes out, completely covered in slobber. And so we've been calling that Johnny Kwando. Just like, here you go.
I don't know how babies do the things they do sometimes.
Yeah. I think they're just like figuring out like, what is this? What do I do with this hand? And And they're like, can I stick it in my mouth?
It's like anything. Can this electrical outlet go in my mouth?
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah, I feel
discovering
like
everything for the first time.
if you had a cactus baby, it would have to be bottle fed.
Fair point. I mean, you had me at having a cactus baby. Like, ugh, that sounds terrible.
That's true, even having the cactus baby would be awful. Well, there's my cactus baby. What would a cactus baby poop out? Like, oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to talk about that.
Not on the Amish concept art
So,
stream.
well, it could be soil. I mean, it's kind of relevant, right? Like, babies soil themselves. So it could literally be soil.
If you absolutely cannot contain yourself, Christina, we can allow some poop on the your drawings.
I'm just gonna move on from this drawing. Alright, alright. Let's see. What should I draw now?
See, it
Need
did it
an
again.
idea.
Just erased. But you know what? I actually kind of like that.
That cactus man looks like he has two heads stacked on top of each other.
That'd be kind of fun. And they like, it's like the ogre kind of thing where they like argue with each other.
Yeah, but I've never seen them with like heads stacked on top of each other, so that would be really funny.
These chaps are a little too strong.
Too strong.
And the contrast on them compared to everything else.
Okay. I thought you were saying he was too muscular.
Makes them too masculine. I don't like that.
They are very form-fitting. He gets a lot of leg exercise riding horses or something. What kind of horse would a cactus man?
A very sad horse, I think.
It's funny because
it's
we're
like
acting.
crying. Good.
It'd have to have a pillow on its back to
Yes.
take all of the all the spines. It's funny because we're asking these ridiculous questions, but I mean, like, these are actually the questions we would ask ourselves if we were
Right.
creating these kinds of characters.
And it's what drives the humor, I think,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love brainstorming with people too.
Let's see.
I feel like it would have to be a donkey.
Yeah.
This would be too good.
I was just thinking, like, it has to have, like, these super long, sad, almost like rabbit ears.
Are you drawing the horse right now?
That's the idea. I'm pretty bad at horses, so... No, it's not a horse. It's a...
Well, I wasn't sure if you were drawing like another hat character because the same color as the hat.
Well, the way I've started doing horses in my little cowboy world is they're basically like pillows, like just these big. Actually, no, not pillow. They're more like a marshmallow with like little tiny legs popping out the bottom. I just liked this idea of like these horses like bounding around, but they're just kind of like bouncing like balloons full of water or something. you know. Oops, let's see. Yeah, I may need to get some reference for this donkey. Because, see, I know their ears kind of come up. Donkeys have, like, pretty impressive ears. But I also want them to be, like, visibly disheartened about being, having a cactus rider.
Mine is just standing there very happy. It's more like a study of a donkey than a design. But, whoa, what happened? Whoa. Okay. Oh, are there... Oh, how did I even get access to that? I don't think we could use... I was just using a texture brush, but I shouldn't have had access to that.
Hmm.
Interesting.
You found a hack.
I think so. A moose drawing. A moose in the desert would actually be amazing. A desert moose.
What would that be like?
I feel like actually, like, if a cactus horse was to be made out of a cactus, like if the cactus cowboy's horse was made out of a cactus, a moose would make sense because you could turn the horns into a cactus. That was very convoluted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
That
I have no idea where you're going with that. It's fine. That's fine. This happens to me a lot. I don't
Craftsman Tavern
understand.
knows where I'm going with it.
Craftsman Tavern. Speaking of Craftsman, you ever watched Craftsman?
On a show?
He's a YouTube channel.
It's just called Craftsman?
The Craftsman. No T in Craftsman. It's Craftsman.
Craftsman?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You need to watch it. You have to.
Is it funny?
It's everything. It's like funny and awesome and informative. I was just thinking about this. Like, he restored my faith in humanity on the internet. You know, it's just like, whenever you're like, man, this is, I don't know, like, you're just frustrated with stuff, and then you see this YouTube channel that's just like, I'm going to teach you about like molding and casting, but like it's funny, and he throws in all these like old Star Wars like references and stuff.
Sounds very wholesome.
It is, yeah. You'll have to check it out. I'll send you a link. But yeah, the Craftsman is the Craftsman is how it goes. He's awesome. So I was looking up his stuff when I started doing Fantastic Tanks. I was looking for some like molding and casting guides, and he had this character that he called the free range chicken, and it was like a chicken with it's like an astronaut chicken with a rocket pack. And then he goes through the whole process of like how he made it, and then how he like did the mold for it and everything. And so that's like how I discovered him. And then from there, it was just like, man, this is just too good to quit. And then he would just like do random things, like he did a video on like having bees and harvesting honey, and like just his whole thing is just like, I like this, so I'm just gonna share this. You know,
that is very wholesome. I like it. Do I watch any channels like that? I feel like I must, but after all the crime shows I was watching today, I can't think of any.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole I don't like going down.
I mean, I go on and off from them because they're just like, they're terrible, obviously, the things that happen in them. But it's also fascinating that there are people out in the world that are like that.
Yeah.
Also, I like how fat and, well, chunky your donkey is.
Thanks. I think it's basically the same proportions as the horses that I'm going for, so I'll need to make his face more like extreme, I think, to make it clearly a donkey. Maybe, I don't know, let's see, make his neck a little thinner.
What if his face was coming out of his neck like this?
Like just rolls. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it looks more like a fox in this drawing, but I think that's hilarious. I mean, or he's just wrapped up in a giant pillow. Oh my gosh, the face on that guy.
let's see. What if we had a? This guy, I feel like needs a mask. So he's got like his eyes sticking out.
Zoro mask. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Like he's got the little angry robber eye sticking out right here. And that's I need to adjust this like this, and then the mask comes down like that.
He would make a great Zoro.
That's what I was thinking of your the Doc Chicken that you drew earlier. I don't know if you saw that before you left the test stream, but like I threw a little what do you call that? What do you call that little mask that goes over the eyes? It's cut out like the Zorro thing.
I just call him Zoro mask.
Doc Rooster, that's what he was.
Oh yeah, I like that. That would be such a fun character. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what do
back
you?
in the
Okay,
huh?
I was gonna ask, what do you think with your McGraw characters? Like, is that a world that you've established a story for? And like, so what I'm prompting the question is that you started that kind of theme, and I think was there like an art station challenge or something?
Mm-hmm.
Because you made one, and then I started the Bushwhack Brothers, and like I feel like they could almost live in the same world, but they're like you've got this like crazier thing going on.
I
you
think we
know?
talked about how they were like similar back then. We talked about like how they were similar styles. Um, I'm sorry, can you remind me of the question? It's late here.
Well, I'm just kind
Well, I
of
guess it's the same
wondering,
time for
like,
you.
what's your what's the defining kind of pitch, the elevator pitch? Like, what makes your world what it is?
Well, the idea when I started it was um that it was basically the McGraws is this group of, I don't know if bandits would be the right word. It's this family. It's this major family that that has a farm that it's like a cattle farm, but that makes them evil in this world because the Native American characters in the story, because you had to design two Native American characters and like two like gunslingers and stuff like that. And my
Yeah.
gunslingers were was it them? I don't know if it was them, but um yeah, so yeah, the cattle were the good guys
Hmm.
and they were the Native Americans, and the McGraws hunt them for their farm, for their butcher farm. It was actually really violent if you think about
Yeah.
it.
No, I mean, I remember the whole thing was like just. I mean, I like just the absurdity of it, like just how over the top everything was. It's a style of humor that is like needs to be understood. you know.
Well, I like I like stuff that is in a childish style, but that it's a serious topic.
But yeah, it's like crazy.
Yeah. And what was the Bushwhack Brothers?
That kind of the simple premise of that was just to have these um, just hyperbolic kind of character. I mean, kind of a similar feeling, but like not necessarily the story. Like the story wasn't necessarily dark, but I wanted it to like just have uh, this vibe of like, oh, this is like a cartoon or like a Pixar type thing, but like um, more in the old west kind of feel. And actually, there was a what was the movie? I just like came across this recently. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like this cowboy who's like he's like a super cowboy basically, and he like sings songs, and it's just like it's sing songy and goofy, but like um, kind of violent. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, is it? Oh my gosh, I think we sing this song all the time in my friend's Discord. Like the song about the road, "Take Me Home, Country Roads." Is that from the right movie?
Uh, I think that's what's his name, John Denver.
Okay, well, never mind. What
No,
was that movie?
I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's like the guy's got like this pristine like white outfit and a big white hat and everything. Like instead of a 10-gallon hat, it's like a 50-gallon hat. You know what I mean? Like everything's just over the top, and like he never gets a speck of dirt on him. Like he wins every duel. All this kind of thing. And to spoil the movie, at the end, it's like someone else comes along and is the next hero. And I think it was basically like the hyperbole of these cowboy films. You're following this like unrealistically perfect. I mean, they're not perfect in terms of their morality or anything, but like they always know the right thing to do. They always, nail the shot perfectly and all that kind of thing. And it was just like kind of joking about that. Like he just knows he's perfect. Like he can't miss. Um, but like he's a goofball. And he jokes about it and stuff. Um, and so anyway, that's I discovered this later, but that was kind of like the feeling. I thought, man, they really nailed the at least from the scenes that I saw of the movie, like they nailed the feeling of kind of what I was going for with Bushwhack Brothers. And then later, I developed the story a little bit with a friend of mine, where the brothers have kind of separated ways. So one is one's like the letter of the law kind of guy, and then the other one's like the relative morality, criminal, like whatever's right in the moment. And then there's a kind of a story that we developed, but I won't get into it too much. But the anyway, the whole point of that, just being this kind of platform for like making fun of the genre in a childish way.
Hmm.
I know at the end of the day, it just sounds so dumb to say it. Like, all I wanted to do was make fun of Western stuff, but like that's basically it.
I think that's fun because there's a lot of ammunition there, I guess to say,
Mm-hmm.
in those old Western stories. I
Well,
mean, just the concept of a 10-gallon hat is amazing.
yeah, I did this one. I'll have to find the sketch, but there was one where I have the guy. He's like coming into town, and his hat is so huge it like casts a shadow over the whole town. You know?
I love that, actually. Random, okay, not random, but somewhat tangential.
Uh-huh.
I bought one of my friends a 10-gallon hat once,
Okay.
and it was just like the most random gift. He was like, "Okay, thank you for this."
But why?
Because I don't think it was even his birthday or anything. I just bought it for him, but yeah. Anyway,
Those are some of the most like, if I'm reading this correctly, like the most genuine but like embarrassing moments when you're like, I saw this, I thought of you. And they're like,
Why?
what does this say about our friendship? This is not quite that extreme, but I have a friend here who's who became a citizen 2 years ago, I think, and like we just have these conversations about like the states and America and stuff, and I went to Texas on a little trip, and I just saw this like it was like a little knickknack thing, but it was a shotgun shell with his name on it, and so I'm like, I have to get this. And it was like a what do you call it? Like a keychain. It had like an LED light in it, but it was shaped. It looked like a shotgun shell. And I'm like, this is the most like you're an American now. you need to have this. And I think it probably said Texas on it somewhere or something like that, But yeah, that's
It
one of those
needed you.
moments of just like, I got I got this for you. I hope you like it.
Yeah, at least he could light up his way.
Yeah.
Like at least it was useful.
So I'm just looking at the chat, and the Craftsman Tavern says, "The Craftsman Steady Crafting." Yes, so that's the one. You just take some time, relax, and enjoy it. It's like it's so good. All right, I'm gonna say no more on the matter. It is. You'll just have to experience it for yourself.
So I'm just doodling with this soft brush, which I pretty much never do. And I kind of like that it looks like messy graphite, the way that it turned out. This little character.
Yeah, I do think there's a nice feeling to it, to the app. Like I don't usually soft brush. Just in Photoshop, I will draw with like full opacity or paint with full opacity, and then usually come in with the kind of that chunky smudge brush, and so that's how I do my blending. And so when I get into like airbrush type tools,
Hmm.
it's just like a whole other way. It's like it it just feels like a completely different way to work. Sometimes I like it, but like I was doing that earlier on the iPad, and it was nice. It felt like you said, like it kind of felt like shading in graphite.
Yeah, I mean, like you're kind of forced to do it because of the limitations of the app.
Yeah, having no
But
pressure sensitivity. I mean,
yeah, but it kind of makes it an interesting way to work. I actually really like this character. Doc Rooster.
the horse thief.
And he needs to have some. I mean, roosters have like the little hair crest, right? He's got to have some of that going on here.
Yeah.
He's a crazy guy. All of my characters look crazy.
That's great. I think that's what makes them fun.
I like it. I don't know what it is about drawing crazy characters.
Let's see, I'll go back to that soft brush here.
So I know we're over the time that we scheduled, but I'm actually having fun with this, so.
Yeah, I mean, you let me know whatever your limit is when you feel like being done. I
I
usually
should get done soon, but. Sorry, go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say I usually go until I feel like it's a good image,
Mm-hmm.
which can take some time for me.
I like doing. I like that it's, after work. Because I actually like doing wind down sketches.
Yeah.
sometimes. Because it's like you've been working the whole day and you're already warmed up because of that.
I was going to ask about that. When you're. See, lately for me, when I'm sketching, I don't have as good of a practice as I used to of just, sitting at the desk and like having a big sketchbook, doing. I used to do like different methods just to kind of like keep myself in this exploratory way of working. So I would like work in graphite, then I'd work in ink, and then just like, but not on the same image, just like completely different processes, so that I would be forced to think about it a different way. But anyway, lately, I haven't really had to do that. Like a lot of what I'm doing is either administrative or like 3D printing and all that kind of stuff. And so my sketching is purely in this tiny little 3x4 like pocket sketchbook with a mechanical pencil.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like whenever I think to get it out, and that's usually the end of the day. I'm just like, I want to draw something goofy. So anyway, I was going to ask what your practice has looked like for yourself lately.
To wind down.
Well, just for your personal. Well, are you doing much personal work, or is it pretty much all for your professional work lately?
I'm not really doing personal work. I'm just more doing like random sketches at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I have been getting, as of the past week, I've been getting into my sketchbook too. And I have a couple different ones. But sometimes I go and I lay in bed and I have my sketchbook and I just like doodle random things.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's kind of what I would call personal work. I mean, I maybe I'm just like not as driven as most people to say like my personal work is just whatever I decide to doodle in the moment, as opposed to like I have this plan, this project, this story that I'm trying to get out. Um, so yeah, that's kind of what I would consider being just doing your own thing, right? What kind of stuff do
Yeah.
you? I mean, uh, not to pry into that too much if you're just like doodling just for kicks, but like what kind of topics do you end up going after? Like this kind of stuff, or
I actually end up doing people, but maybe I should do more chickens. Like I don't know, there's something about chickens. But yeah, I end up doing people because I can't think of what to draw on. I think it's not really productive how I'm approaching it, but then again, it's just for my like relaxation and downtime, so I shouldn't, expect a lot from
yeah,
myself if that's the goal of it.
not to overthink it.
Yeah. Craftsman Tavern says, what 3D printer do you use?
I use a Anycubic Mono and the Anycubic Photon S. So they're DLP printers. That's like uh, it's a light. What do you call it? Photopolymers. So light activates the resin. That's the style for those. They're pretty small printers, those two, but they work great. I mean, they're perfect for what I'm doing with Fantastic Tanks because they're all like small minis.
Fantastic Tanks is pretty fantastic.
Hey,
Gonna
thanks.
say that. I've been doodling on this rooster for so long. I'm really curious what the viewers do while they watch streams like this one. Like, are you guys doodling your own stuff, or are you just kind of hanging out and watching watching us draw?
Crickets.
Well, it's always like when I watch streams, I don't know, sometimes I just like am really into it,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I'm just drawing, like it's just something to keep me company.
Yeah.
So it's like the community. It's kind of like what the Google Hangouts was sometimes.
Yeah. I've kind of gotten out of the practice of drawing while I'm like watching a stream or something. Um, I think it's kind of like it's a blessing and a curse. Like on one hand, uh, just having kind of that noise in the background, like you said, to keep you company as you're working. Um, that's been nice, but then a lot of stuff lately that I've been doing has required more concentration, and
Mm.
so it just ends up being noise, and I kind of get like frustrated with it, um, which is terrible. You know, if you're like, I really like this YouTuber, but like I'm super annoyed with you right now because I should have more discipline and not be listening to this right now. You know, it's not very fair. But on the flip side of that, though, like if I'm decompressing, I'll just watch YouTube, and and I don't feel like I actually get anywhere as far as like learning. Like there's a lot of stuff that I have air quotes learned, you know, but just never put into practice. So really, it's just entertainment, you know.
Hmm.
And I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just need to be okay with the fact that I am watching, you know, art videos for the just for the entertainment and not for um, growth. You know.
Well, if you're promoting balance by watching something entertaining that's also educational, like an art video, like subconsciously you might be picking stuff up that actually will help you. So it can't be a bad thing, right?
No, I don't think it's bad to watch. You know, I just think it's more the perception for myself that like, oh yeah, I've learned all this stuff. I'm, you know, if you don't put it into practice, then you'll find that you're like not the artist that you thought you were or something. You know, I don't know. Um, this is not a great sell for my for my stream. Don't watch the stream. Just draw.
Well, I think it's good actually because I mean, you're obviously a very talented artist and like it's good to know like when I was a student, it was always I mean now too obviously, like it's good to have that down to earth perspective of people you're watching on a stream. Like knowing that they have insecurities or goals or
Hmm.
lists for improvement. And they're not just, you know, perfect and have always been perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you know, one thing I've been thinking about lately and trying to kind of act on more is artists that I like their work, but like I've always been bad about knowing who did what. It's like I see the work and I'm like, oh yeah, I like that, and I don't think like, oh, that was this artist, and like this is kind of the way they think and like why they made that. You know, their work, and like is there a larger body of work that they have done that kind of speaks to the same thing or similar thing, you know. It's like I just look at or would look at just the one off piece and go, okay, I like that or I don't like it, you know what I mean. Which maybe is just kind of how the internet is, you know. It's like there's just so much content being thrown around that it's kind of how you or how I have consumed it, you know. Um, but yeah, so I'm trying to be better about kind of looking into the artist and like, uh, you know, what is there about this person that I could um, that I could get some more depth out of. Not that it's okay. I'm gonna be careful about that. Not that it's just like what could I get out of this, but like to understand the artist more than just oh, they made that cool thing. I wonder how they did that. I bet I could do something like that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm kind of just getting over that, and like I'm just more interested in what are they thinking? What are they doing? Like I don't know. Maybe conventions was a part of that. Like meeting artists and like realizing, oh, this isn't just like a screen with a bunch of it's not like a contest, like who gets the attention on ArtStation or whatever, but these are people who are like after something, I mean, some people are just going after the attention, or like trying to make the next cool thing or whatever, but like I think the vast majority of artists get into it because they just really love creating and they want to make something cool, and there was something that inspired them, and then like eventually it comes down to like I want to make my thing, that's that just keeps eating at me, and yeah, meeting those people and kind of seeing how they're thinking, hearing about their processes, and seeing what they're doing. I don't know, it completely changes the conversation for me. And so anyway, I don't really know. Like that wasn't like there's no prepackaged to that thought. There wasn't a point necessarily, other than that's kind of where I've been leaning lately with my artist consumption. Like what other people are doing. Mm-hmm. I'm like way more interested in like Patreons and all that kind of stuff. Like I just want to see like how do people work, how do they think, how do they construct their vision, whereas I don't know, before maybe I did have and the reason I'm kind of coming at this is the idea of how I thought when I was like first learning, and kind of the insecurities and how they manifest themselves versus like how I think now. And that's not to say that I have anything really figured out. But there's a lot to the world, the creative world, that is like, there's like this competitiveness and this insecurity, and then there's like this genuineness and this like, I just want to make stuff, and then it gets commercialized, so that there's that whole kind of angle on it, and so I felt my sentiments towards things shifting over time, to be more open to like just the kind of exploration of art, like just the exploration of ideas rather than the output, like I made enough stuff. I still have that kind of deeply ingrained in me. Like, did I make enough stuff to like feel like a successful artist, What am I even saying?
Well, I think as you become, like, you hone your skills more in the direction that you want to, you start seeking out like probably a lot of what made you want to be an artist in the first place, which is like conveying stories with your pictures. So now that you have the technical skill to do so, it sounds like you're seeking inspiration from other people's methods of creating stories with visual imagery, and seeing how they do it is what I gleaned from that. At least I could be totally wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like I've been kind of dense, like or overly competitive, because like when I think about when I started, I just like wanted to do everything better or like the best or whatever. You know what I mean? And I think you kind of need that to a degree to like push you. But I also, um, it's a dead end, right? Like you've okay, so you figured out how so and so did their thing, and now that you've integrated that into your style, um, or into your process. But at some point, it's like, um, I don't know. I guess what I've been thinking as far as like creative output or whatever is that the things that inspired me as a kid didn't exist before Steven Spielberg made Jurassic Park or made the movie, but obviously somebody else wrote the book, or George Lucas made Star Wars. It's like someone had that drive to create, and it's not necessarily like they had this like perfect vision and they just had to execute it. Because as you get into the story of the creation of those franchises, there was a lot of editing and developing and different voices and all that kind of stuff. But I'm like respecting that like way more. Like the thing that made my childhood, the thing that like still kind of, I wouldn't say gives me goosebumps, but like gives me that just like this almost like weight in my chest of like I remember how much I loved, playing Legos or playing Star Wars or you know what I mean, like, and it's like you'll never go back to that childhood. That's the kind of feeling. It's like that childhood innocence of just loving something, and letting your mind wander with it and enjoy it. And the more I think about that, I'm like, somebody made that, so that I could experience that as a kid. And just the time, the energy, the work, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, that thought, I'm not saying that drives me, but it definitely makes me feel like this is legitimate and it's worth it, and it's way different than the competitiveness. It's like making things that other people can fall in love with and let their mind kind of slip into. Like there's just something about that is just wonderful. I don't know. I know I'm ranting.
Well, it's like you were inspired by people who created things. Sounds like you want to inspire others as well as a result. You want to give someone the childlike wonder that somebody gave you.
Mm-hmm. Or like wondering if the things that I'm doing has that potential. Like when I work on Fantastic Tanks and stuff, I'm like, does this have that thing that makes... Well, I'll give an example. When I moved to this area, and I said that I started taking classes at the college to finish off a degree. And really the idea there was I wanted to reset kind of where I was headed as an artist. I was doing a lot of the same stuff just for like commercial work. And that's fine, and it was good, but I felt like it was a lot of the same, and I didn't really know why I was doing it other than money, It wasn't the thing that got me into it, I guess is what I'm saying. So I decided to take the classes to kind of reassess and, see where I wanted to take things. And anyway, doing that, I met some of the professors and stuff, and they're not art professors, like just other classes. And through that, like they showed some of my work to their kids, and then they showed me like, this is a drawing that my kid made, and it was like one of my tanks, or like,
Aw. That's a good feeling.
The kind of, I wouldn't say scary one, but like the Beyond Human characters, like the amputee cyborg, like crazy ones that I did.
Oh, they show that to their
They did one
kids.
of those, and there's something about that that's just like, oh, like there's more to this than just like, oh, I want to make my thing, or like I want people to see my stuff and think it's cool, it's like, um, yeah, that to me was like, oh, that's I don't know if I'm just saying that just to like make myself feel good or whatever, but but um, it made me start to look at what I was doing differently, you know.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like, I mean, I think wanting to inspire somebody is a hope that we all secretly have. Um,
some of us
however you
less
how you want
secretly than others.
it. Well, like, I always wanted to do it, like myself, I always wanted to do it with like my drawing or storytelling or something, because things that inspired me would like move me to tears or give me those chills, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I wanted to kind of produce something that gave that emotional feeling. And like now, like I want to do that as well, but also like maybe with mentoring or some kind of teaching someday or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think a lot of it is like that desire to give back to something that was given to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had that feeling of Jurassic Park, being really awesome
Yeah.
and wanting to give that back to another kid. It's kind of like passing on a legacy of art inspiration.
That is interesting because I have noticed that lately I have a ton more respect for art instructors than
Mm-hmm.
I did when I started. Like when I started, I was like, it's a racket. They're just stealing from your hopes and
Oh,
dreams,
really?
all that kind of stuff.
Oh man.
And you don't need to pay them a ton of money to like make your art, and like all of that stuff is actually true in some places and in some ways, but like the vast majority of art instructors that I've encountered are like exactly that thing that we were talking about earlier. They're like people uh, that love it, that want to like share and like unlock someone else's ability and imagination, And I'm really respecting that it's difficult. Like it's difficult
Mm-hmm.
to um, extract an idea and like put it into someone's head. It's not just well, this is what you got to do. You got to make big, medium, small shapes, and then you're all what I mean. It's like no, there's actually like a whole world of how does that information get transferred, um, and how does it get developed and cultivated? Like a garden, right? Rather than just like here's a manual, right? Or just do these exercises and you're good. Like it doesn't work at the gym. It doesn't work in really any other part of life to just say like here's all the information, you're good, or just do what I say and you're good. It's like there's there's this whole process of the human element of how we embody things over time. And I respect that there are people that do that well and have done that for like hundreds or thousands of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's when I mean, I'm sure there are teachers who can like improvise and stuff like that, but a lot of the times I see how much teachers who care prepare
Yes.
just to make sure that the information goes over smoothly and that it's understood. Um, And I really admire those teachers because it takes so much time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And like even just developing the ability to speak to groups of people. Also in the chat, oh, Manny's here.
Hey, Manny.
Shout out to Manny and his kids because I think he said his kids were watching.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is very awesome. Maddie is groaning in the background of my screen. I don't know if you could hear that.
She's done. This is obnoxious.
She's probably like, when is mommy gonna take me outside? Which I should actually soon. I should go to bed because I am starting to fade. However, I'm going to screenshot this because how it turned out.
Let me see what you're doing over here. I can zoom out.
No, you can't. You can't see that.
Can I put veins in the eyeballs?
Why not? Why not?
Let's see.
I mean, if that didn't look crazy already.
Those are pretty.
No,
those are pretty dark. We're gonna go back on that. So I think what I would probably do, and by probably I mean what I'm gonna do, is do an overlay layer and just kind of pump up different areas on these. Let me do that real quick.
I love that belt buckle you gave him. Also, that guy on the top left, his mask is basically just his face. How does he see anything?
Let's see, we'll go overlay. Bleh. And what are we gonna do for our, I guess we'll do like a reddish, no, orange. That's the idea. This is a rabbit trail here, but my kids have been asking about like mixing colors lately, and I don't know why that gives me such joy, you know, that my 3-year-old is like, Dad, when you mix blue and yellow, what do you get? Like,
Oh, that's cute.
that's green, buddy. You know, but like I love how like just kind of ridiculous it gets sometimes though, you know, just like they get stuck on something like, no, that would make brown, like well, just, you know, again with the like, oh, this will take time, you'll internalize this over time.
I still haven't internalized it. You know, it's funny. I was taking a class one time and my teacher was talking about color. And I don't know why, but sometimes, even though I wouldn't consider myself like gifted at math or anything by any stretch. I was like solving it using a math equation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me see if I can remember this. Because I was having a lot of trouble at the time with it. But like, let's say that you have. See, do you know anything about like radical number? Like, it's been a while, so I don't know the other term for it.
Short answer is no.
Well, like if you have like radical 9, you pull out. It's like, it's the same thing as 3 times 3, so you pull out the 3.
It's been a very long time, so no.
This might not even make any sense generally, but
I mean, it rings a bell, but it's so faint in the distance. I don't have the energy to go chase it.
well, for whoever is a math-minded person,
Mm-hmm.
so one thing I I did was, like, let's say that you're mixing green and yellow.
Here, let me
Well, it wouldn't be a plus sign, but
zoom out so
okay.
we can see what you're doing over there.
My math might be totally off because it's been years since I tried this. But if you break green down, it's blue and yellow, right? So you would take the yellow out and have blue. So it would be mostly yellow and then a little bit of blue. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. I mean, I would have to see it in, in like I'd, I would like to see more. That's what I'm saying.
I'd have to get like a light and explain and show how that would work.
No, yeah, that totally makes sense. Like when you start layering light over each other, and you see how it changes the color.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
But
have to.
anyways, that makes sense to anyone.
Well, one of the guys that watches the stream, I don't know if he's on tonight, but Brandon, a friend of mine, is a math professor, and so I'll have to have him watch the stream and
Oh gosh, he might butcher me.
analyze your. No, no, he'll get. You'd have to meet Brandon. He'll get excited, and then he'll tell you everything, all the maths. But it's also probably like his mind is on bigger projects. I think.
Also, thank you, Wisto.
I did
Yeah, I'm
find.
just doing.
I'll have to find this video for you. It's a long time ago. I found this video. It was a talk on the different color systems, and it was great because it was not your typical like concept artist who's like me, who would just say like, this is one of these theories that gets kicked around, and you can use it in your work or whatever. Like, it was nothing like that. It was more like the history of how we came to different color theories, and how they relate to each other. It was really good. So it was like it talked about different oil painters and how they had like developed these like manifestos of this is how color works, and a couple of them had very different ideas from each other, and then you end up with a system like the one you would learn in a traditional illustration class, with what are your main colors? Yellow, blue, and red, right? And you can mix from those, as opposed to the light system, which is RGB. And so you land on that kind of theory, and then with the television, with color television, you end up with. I mean, there's a whole step before that with like, Newton and the prism, and separating light into its different bands or wavelengths or whatever. But then you get into a very kind of like scientific and like commercial way of dealing with color, with television and cameras and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, it's an interesting talk. He kind of goes over all those different developments, at least the ones that he chose to talk about.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see that if you.
I'll have to find it. It's somewhere on my Pinterest board that I haven't used in 700 years, but it's got to be in there somewhere.
I love Pinterest. It's like the one thing I'm organized with in my life. Like everything has a board.
I used to be pretty organized, and then like I think in the past 2 3 years, like everything just fell apart. Like I don't. I'm like I have that written down somewhere. I know I wrote that.
Answer Pencil Lad. The Art of Manuel Gomez. Manuel. Manu. I didn't mean to call you that. I know you don't like it. Manuel. Manny. Um, I think more like imagining, like when I did it, it was more imagining and getting used to how light affects an object depending on the color of the object. Um, so if you had a very purple object, purple is blue and red. And then if you had, oh, let me explain this. Okay. So if you had a purple object and you had a purple light affecting it. No, that's not a good example because then that's just like a really, really purple object. Let's say a green, blue, orange. Let's say orange. So purple is red and blue, and then orange is yellow and red. So you have the two reds here that you take out, and that leaves blue and yellow. So red and green. So I think if I remember this method correctly, the objects like base, I mean, obviously these cancel each other out a little bit, but the major light affecting it is red and then the base is green. But I really have to perfect it and look at colored lights. But it was something like that. I need to check the way that I did it.
Have you taken any photography classes?
I have not.
That might be an interesting angle to go with that, because it's interesting because it's like a whole other system, like f-stops and stops of light and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of struggle with it coming from painting, just because it's a different way of conceptualizing. But I think what's really cool about it is that it's basically just all about light, and how light works and how it falls off over distances and all that kind of stuff. And so you might actually find some information and or inspiration in that field, because like gels is a very big part of what they do, like toning the hue of the light, to get the right effect in the camera. I mean, so that's a whole discipline in and of itself. And I wonder how many, I wonder if there are systems that they're using in photography for evaluating exactly the temperature that they'll end up at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are. That would make sense. Photography does seem fun. I know it can get very expensive, but
Mm-hmm.
we need to just do we have our phones and stuff, so
Yeah.
I am sorry. I am starting to get very tired and I
Oh,
probably need to close out.
that is fine.
Should I do like an outro of some kind?
Christina, out. No, I
Oh,
don't know.
well,
No, this was fun, and I appreciate you doing it. We'll have to, we'll talk more about what we want to do from here. We'll talk more about this, but I appreciate you doing this. I like this format. It's way more interesting than me just talking about whatever the heck I feel like. You know?
Well, it was definitely fun. Like, I think there were, like, at the beginning, we were kind of figuring out what do we use this program for, and we sort of settled into like our own separate concept pages, which was interesting. I'm sure there are different things we could try with it too.
Yeah. I think earlier
Um,
when we were testing it out, sorry if you had more you were
oh
going
no,
to say.
go ahead.
When we were testing it out earlier, I think we were just a lot more loose about it, and so like we were drawing over each other's stuff, which was fun, and I think that might be. We might try more of that at some point.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, because that's a big benefit to this program.
All right,
Okay,
you should
yeah,
take care of your dog,
we should.
and
We should.
we'll talk again.
That's. Oh, sorry. I just want to address what Manny said. That's true. Like you could open up a 3D program and just test this stuff, but I'm so tired that I won't be doing it right now. Anyway, thank you for having me. This was really fun. I enjoyed it. And thank you, everyone who was watching. Very much appreciated. Can't wait to see what you. I guess you'll probably still keep going, so.
No,
Can't
I
wait
think
to see what you post later.
I'll probably just wrap it up here, because
Okay.
who would want to finish it out?
I know, it was so good. It was so good, and then.
And then Eric
Just
just
kidding.
just kept going. It's like, the magic was over. Eric, just drop it, man. Go to bed.
I just really love that guy's belt buckle.
This one, the giant. I'm gonna give it a shadow there.
Yeah, he's got a giant hat, he's got a giant belt buckle and giant shoes. And he's like the skinny cactus.
We should have played more on the two heads,
I do like that idea.
We'll have to pick this up again. All right, I
Yes.
think we'll end it here. Thank you everybody for joining in tonight, and thank you, Christina. This was a lot of fun. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was a blast.
All right.
Bye.
And as always, thank you for coming, and thank you for leaving. Have a good night.
I'm out of here.